right, before we get going today, who can use their psychic powers and tell me what we are going to learn today? Math words has got something to do with it. You guys remember where you can look in the classroom? That will always tell you what we're going to learn. Today we did the warm-up. Now we're going to learn about verbal to algebraic expressions. And to be more specific, before you're done, you will be able to translate a verbal to algebraic expression. And you're going to do that by reading verbal expressions and writing algebraic expressions. What does the word verbal mean? You guys heard that before? Verbal?
Yeah.
Kind of like verbal is when you talk, right? A verbal expression is something that you say, okay? Or it can be something that you read. What about algebraic? What does that mean? Yeah, it's like algebra. What's algebra? It's a math class, right? So all we're doing is we're going to translate written words into math symbols. Just like you can translate from Spanish to English. What does this mean in English? I want to buy new shoes, right? If you don't speak Spanish, it's okay, but you get the idea. Maybe you would translate from Urdu to English, or from Bangla to Irish, or from Algebraic or Twi to English, or French, right? We all know how to translate. We know what that means. So here, this is like, I want to buy new shoes. It's a translation. So in math, we do the same thing. We're going to translate from symbols to words, and from words to symbols, from algebraic to verbal, and from verbal to algebraic. This is going to be our dictionary today. Right? But our dictionary has a few holes. So we know about addition, right? We know the plus sign. And we know a few words here, right? You guys seen these words before? We have more than, plus, increase, altogether. So they all mean what in math? They all mean addition. That's why they're in the addition column. What's the one that we're missing, though? What's the S word that we're missing for addition? Anyone know? Yeah. The one that we use a lot. Let me expand this a little bit so you can see. The one that we use a lot, the special one, is sum. Alright? Here are all the words that mean subtract or minus. What's the D one that we're missing there? It has to mean minus. It has to mean subtract. No, that's a different. That's going to be division. What's a D1 for subtraction? If I say I have $10 and Henry has 7, and I say find the difference, and you see difference, that means subtract 2. Difference. So make sure you fill that one in. All right. If I say multiply, we got times per each. We've seen those before. What's the last P one? Product. That's a tricky one, yeah. Product also means multiply. But what if I'm multiplying by 2?
Double.
There it is. You can say twice or double. Multiplying by 3. Yeah, that's triple. So those are all different types of multiplication. All right, let's go to division. These are all the different ways you can show division. Divided by, go into. Over, you'll hear me say a lot when I have one written on top of the other. Split, separate. What's the Q one? Quotient. That's a weird one. Q-U-O-T-I-E-N-T. Quotient. Okay? All right, then we got our fractions. You should know how to say this one. What's 1 over 2? 1 half. 1 over 3 is 1/3. All right, 1 over 4 has 2 names.
1/4.
You could say 1/4, or you could say 1/4. Good. What about if it's a different number up top, like a 2 over 3? How do I say that? 2/3. Yeah. Quarter, yeah. Q-U-A-R-T-E-R. Quarter, quarto. Quarto. And if it's 3 over 4, you could say 3/4, or you could say 3/4. Either one. 3/4. All right, so those are the fractions. What do you call these little numbers up here when they're small and up high?
Square.
But in general, what do you call it, such with an E? Exponents, right? We got our exponents. So if I say A and I have an exponent of 2, that's, what's the S word? Squared. That's A squared. What does that mean if I square a number? Yeah, square is a shape, yeah. But what if I say A squared? What does that mean? A and then an exponent of 2, yeah. But does it mean, like if I said 3 squared, what's 3 squared?
3 times 3.
3 times 3, which is 9. So in other words, A squared is whatever number I say times that same number, times itself. Oops. A times A. Three squared is like 3 times 3, which is 9. What if I said 5 squared? 25, right? 5 times 5. If I said 7 squared, 7 times 7, 49, yeah? So that's if I have a little, see, what about if I have a little 3?
3 to the 4th power.
All right, I can say to the 3rd power. I know it's going to be A times A times A, sure. But what's the C word? Q. A cubed. Now you could go on, you could do a 4, 5, a 6, or a 7, but then you don't have a special word anymore. Then it's just A to the 2nd, A to the 3rd, A to the 4th, A to the 5th, A to the 6th power. How's that? All right. Now here's the new one. Radicals. Radicals. All right, those are a little different. Those are like the opposite of exponents. Radicals. So if I said that symbol there, do you guys know what we call that one if there's no number up front? Square root, like raíz cuadrado, no? So over here, I know that just the regular one,
Square root.
that is the square root. So what's the square root of 4? 2, right? What number squared would equal 4? Well, that's 2. What is the, let me do this real quick. What is the square root of 25?
5.
5. Because that's saying what number times itself equals 25. What about the square root of 100?
10.
10. Okay, raíz cuadrado. ¿Qué número por su mismo es 100? What number times itself is 100? So back over here, the square root of 64 we know would be 8. So the square root is when we want to know what number times itself twice is the number inside. What do you think if there's a little 3 there? What do I call it now?
Cube.
The cube root. So the cube root is asking, if I ask for the cube root of A, I want to know what number
4.
cubed equals the number inside. So what number times itself 3 times? This is saying, if I do, if I do blank times blank times blank, this is 4. What is that number that's going to multiply by itself 3 times?
4.
8 would be too big, right? Because I'd already have 64. Times another 8 would be too big.
4.
4 will work. 4 times 4
16.
is 16. Times another 4 will give you the 64. Okay? So the cube root of 64 is actually 4. All right, and then the last one, of course, when you see this sign, we know what that is, right? Equals, and then you could, sometimes if you see the word is, that also means equals. All right, so let's start translating. I need to translate half the class. How do I say half in math symbols? I say 1/2. Well, how do I write that? What's the symbol for a half? 1/2. Half of what? Half the nachos? Half the class. What am I going to use for class? C. So really I just have half C. There it is. We translate it. Done. All right. Let's do one more together, then I want you to try them on your own. A number decreased by 3 is 7. Do we see a word there? Let me know. What word do we know in here?
Decrease.
Decrease is in there. What does decrease mean? Minus, right? We see that in our chart. Right, there's decreased. What about anything else? Did they say what number? They say a number. Do they tell us what number? Do you know what the number is? So what are we going to use? Well, we need a specific number. Oh, we don't. Maybe x. We can use x if we don't know the number that we decreased by 3. Well, we can't put any number. We have to use a variable, right? So let me use n for number. Decreased by, well, 3 is 3. What about is? Equals.
4.
And then I got 7 over here. Now you don't need to know what n is. I'm not asking what the number is. I just want you to translate it. And we translate a number decreased by 3 is 7. We just translated that to n minus 3 equals 7. So we're translating from verbal to algebraic, from written words to math symbols. All right, I'll give you 5 minutes in your group. See if you can finish up. Get all the way down to number 9. Where is my timer? Come on. Barry, wake up. There you go. 5 minutes. All right, so for number 3, $3 per bag is twice the cost. Let's hear from Geronimo. What did you and your group decide? $3 per bag is twice the cost. How can we translate that?
3 times B equals 2.
3 times B equals 2?
Yeah, 8.
You're very, very, very close. All right, $3, sure. Per, so I like that. Per means times. So that's why we're timesing 3 times the bag. Is means equals, so that's good. Now if it's twice, you got to multiply 2 times something. Twice the cost. Do we know what the cost is?
And the C.
No, so let's put a C for cost. That's what it should be. That's pretty daggone close. That was a good job. That was a good job.
You're gonna give me the point?
Nope. You got it? Good stuff.
Yeah, you computer knows.
He's got to do one word at a time. All right, let's go to the next one.
Eric. Get over it.
1/3 of the product of R and Y. Let's hear from Stephanie. Got it? Nothing? 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 Juan Martinez is not with us today. Merlin, nada, ningún punto. Oh yeah, I see something there. I see 1/3. You guys agree with that? 1/3, 1/3. Yeah. Okay. Well, what does product mean? 1/3 of the product. You have to multiply. Well, what do you multiply?
R and Y.
R and Y we are multiplying together. So when you see product's a special one. That tells you need to put something in parentheses. So the 1/3 is going to multiply, because when you see of, it's like 1/3 of, you got to multiply by something. 1/3 of what? Of the product of R times Y. So it'll look like that.
Yeah, get it right.
Okay? Alright, look guys, the bell's gonna ring in 3 seconds. We're gonna finish this next time. Make sure it gets in your binders. In your binders. Make sure it comes back. We'll finish it on Monday. Alright, have a good weekend, guys. Anyone going to the football game?
Oh.
Alright, I'll be there. You are.
Maybe. What time is the game?
7:30, I think.
Whoa.